Championship softball here on the New York Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. As we head to the final, and you get a dream matchup if you were coming into this. The number 1 seed Gremlins playing in the final, and leading off for the AWP Lumberjacks is Nicholas Kloss leading off against the Gremlins, Jack Besgrove. Of course, Bessie, known as the number 1 pitcher in the nation. Said something to Bessie before the game, talked to Inoka, and really good guys. Greg Leather gave me some statistics to use, and I will use those. So Nicholas Kloss with a foul ball out to the right side as we're into game number 3 today and game number 12 of the tournament. And both these ball teams are 4-0 in the tournament. The Gremlins are 20-1 on the season. The Lumberjacks 20-4. And Besgrove rocks and hops, and the pitch is just a bit outside. And looking for a pretty solid finale. And the guys to my right are looking for a pillow and some sleep as they worked 16 hours yesterday as Kloss goes down on strikes. Cody Panabacker, .318 hitter on the season. He's had a pretty nice tournament so far. Looks at a changeup for strike 1. And Pennybacker with 21 hits, 6 doubles, 1 home run, and 6 RBIs this year. And the home run was a bomb. Game number 3 here at Brookside Park, and well, a few clouds in the sky, but we've still got the sun in our eye. It's a beautiful day. Nice light breeze, fan running up here. Stands are a little more full than they were earlier this morning for the final, and ground ball to second baseman Ladislaw Malarchik, and he flips it over to Ochoa for out number 2. That'll bring up the number 3 hitter for the Lumberjacks, Jordan Solorio, a .447 hitter on the season. And the Gremlins holding true to their 20-1 record as the strike is delivered by Bessie. Solorio with 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. And that was just outside. It's tough to tell from the camera angle, folks, but when you're standing right behind the plate, you can see when it goes across the chalk. Besgrove delivers the pitch. And 6-3, Cole Evans to Eric Ochoa. Shuts down the Lumberjacks. 1-2-3 in this inning. The bottom of the first up next. 0-0 your score in the final here from Ashland on the New York Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. Kuba Oseka delivers his last warm-up pitch for the AWP Lumberjacks. And down to second base it goes, as stepping into the box to lead off is Matthew Waugh, a .385 hitter with 3 home runs so far on the campaign for Coach Greg Leather. Oseka 3-0 from the mound with a 2.279 ERA. Not too shabby. And Waugh, the left-handed hitter, earlier today in that last game was 2 for 4. In his last 2 at-bats, he had hits. We'll see where he picks up here. It's the championship game from the 3rd annual Ashland Invitational here in Ashland, Ohio, which for those of you listening that don't know where Ashland, Ohio is, it's in Ohio. That was a good one, wasn't it? It's halfway between Cleveland and Columbus. So about north centrally located. And a softball storied town, as many, if you've ever played softball or known any of the players that played that are Hall of Famers, legends, that came through this park. Except for the 2 guys beside me, they're not legends. But they came through this park. Mark Hastings and Mike Van Dyne Jr. to my right, they will assist me throughout the game as they took on 6 games yesterday. They didn't have enough left for game number 7, but after 16 hours, they were done. Luciano over here running the board, and it's got 6 cameras set up for your enjoyment here for this championship contest. And Oseka now with a 2-2 count on the batter. Wow. And this should be a good one, folks. Just inside. And coming into this tournament, the Gremlins, of course, ranked #1 in the nation. AWP ranked #7. So a pretty good matchup right here. AWP probably the 3rd seed at the beginning of the tournament, although they're now playing in the championship game as Waugh trots on down to first base and draws the walk. And Ramaki, with a .388 batting average, Jerome that is, will play third base in this contest. And, well, early in the last game, he delivered a bomb. So that is exactly what the Lumberjacks and Kuba Oseka does not want to see. Ramaki had his sunglasses on coming up to the plate. And he's going to hand them off to Inoka. Ramaki with the bleached blonde hair and the inside protector of his right leg tells me he probably fouls a few pitches off there. He looks to be a stout, about 5'11". And he takes ball 1. Oseka yet to be beaten this year on the mound, but he's facing his toughest challenge in the #1 team in the nation. And a shot up the middle will go off the glove of shortstop Carreño. And to third base will go Waugh as a single by Ramaki as he holds consistent with his day, and he'll be on first base as stepping into the box will be the guy that got the rest of the first game, Ben Inoka. And I talked to Inoka before the game, and we talked about his hobbies of fishing and playing golf, and Ben said, I had a hole-in-one 2 weeks ago in Wisconsin. So it's not true. He doesn't do his fishing of golf balls out of the ponds on golf courses because he likes to fish and he likes to play golf. And I thought, as much as the guy plays softball, he might like to just fish his golf balls out of the pond, but not the case because he had a hole-in-one. It's pretty good. Yeah, have you had a hole-in-one, Mark? Mark Hastings has 1 hole-in-one. Me, I've been close. I think I was probably 4 inches from hole-in-one. But Inoka probably plays a little more golf than I do. Probably plays as much as you, Hastings. Hastings plays in the Girl Scout outing. He plays in every outing you get in. If Craig Scott has a fundraiser outing, Mark Hastings will be there. And that's a Base hit up the middle by Inoka, and the ball hops on the center fielder, and I believe, well, if Ramaki wouldn't have stopped at third base, he would have scored. But he wasn't, he didn't see what was going on. Greg Leather held him up, and he's probably wishing he didn't right now. As Waugh scores, Ramaki goes to third, and Inoki, with a single, ends up getting into second on the error by the center fielder, Solorio. Eric Ochoa, a .289 hitter with 3 home runs on the season. The left-hander with 1 foot drug out of the side of the box will await the pitch of Wasicki. Ball 1. On deck hitter Zenon Winters, the designated player, as Ochoa digs in with runners on second and third, and his team up by 1 run here in the championship of the 3rd annual Ashland Invitational. The pitch is a foul ball, and that is hit towards the restroom. And we saw the longest home run that I've ever seen in my lifetime today, about a 350-foot shot over left field. I don't think you had to be here to see it to appreciate it, right? You couldn't even really appreciate it on TV. I mean, that was smashed. And there's another one hit out, and looks like it's carrying, and it hits the top of the fence and goes out of the park for a home run for Ochoa. Eric Ochoa with a 3-run dong, and just like that, a 4-0 lead for the Gremlins. The first 4 batters have scored for the Gremlins, and a guy, Oseka, that only has a 2.279 ERA, well, it just went up. Ochoa barely made that. You know, and the difference between Ochoa and myself is, I remember back when I was about 14 years old, and I hit the same ball, and it was off the left center field fence, and it bounced off the top, and I'm in a home run trot. And the guy at second base tags me out, and I'm like, why is he tagging me out? That was a home run. They're like, no, it hit the top of the fence and bounced in. So Ochoa's luck's obviously better than mine. Eric Ochoa, if you have any family members listening to this game, when you get home, they probably should tell you to play the lottery. Because, well, the fence, and the other ball like that I remember is always, of course, the Jose Canseco ball that hit him in the head and bounced over the fence. But that was as short as you can hit a home run, right? Bounced off the top of the fence and over in left field. 4-0 lead for the Gremlins early in this one in the championship game from Ashland, Ohio, as Zenon Winters brings his .400 batting average into the box. And that was almost clipped his jersey on the inside. I don't know how the ball did not hit him. Winters, the designated player, wears number 53. As Kubo Oseka winds, hops, and delivers. Strike. Should be 1-1. I have 1-1. Luciano's falling asleep on me over there. Pop fly may stay in. Tough play, and that had to hurt as Francisco Lombardo kind of lifted his arm up to get the ball and smacked his ribs on the dugout. That did not feel good, I'm sure. Lombardo trying to get the ball, but didn't realize, and now he's looking at his right hand like he's got something on it. That's a tough play. But he never gave up on it, and it cost him some sore ribs probably later on. I've got 4 ibuprofen over here he can take. Winters. And that ball hits him. And we have another base runner. So the first 5 guys from the Gremlins are on base. And Cole Evans brings his 5 home runs, 357 batting average, and team tying 17 RBIs up to the plate. The shortstop, Evans.
Shortstop, Cole Evans.
Is second on the team in home runs and tied for first in RBIs. And Ochoa hit number 4 to make the score 4-0. His 4th home run on the season. And appreciate the stats from the coaches. Cole Evans awaits the pitch and hits a flare out to right field, and that ball will be hauled in by Cody Pennebecker. Pennebecker retires Evans. That's the first out, believe it or not, of the inning. And, of course, winners could go nowhere as Federico Olheiser and winners are having a conversation down at first. And that is a strike on the outside corner to Brian Avery. Avery, 396 on the season. Playing right field, wearing number 33. And Avery with a pop-up flare, and let's see, it's in the middle of everybody. And did he make that play? And that play was made by Nicholas Kloss. And that's the second time we've seen him make a great play today. Kloss, as you saw, slid to make that play, and the replay there provided by the network shows you that was a heck of a play. I couldn't tell where the bounce because the shortstop was in the way. Oseka delivers the pitch to Malarchik, and Ladislaw looks at ball 1. Malarchik, a .351 hitter on the year. Swings and fouls it off into the stands, and, well, there's a few fans here. It's a nice umbrella out there. It's got a softball umbrella. Look at that. The things you can buy today. I think Amazon comes to my house at least once a day. Ball inside on Malarchik. Base runner on first base is Zenon Winters. 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning, and the home team, the Gremlins, lead this one 4-0. And that pitch was right on the heart of the plate. Oseka hops, drops, and the ball is out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes on Ladislaw Malarchik. Runner on first, 2 down. Top of the first inning from Ashland here. And strike 3 delivered. And Malarchik still standing at the plate. Doesn't believe it. Believe it or not, he's headed back to the dugout. After 1 inning of play from the championship game in Ashland, Ohio, the Gremlins lead 4-0. You're listening to the New York Gremlins Network on Softball Premier TV. All right, we're back. Top of the second inning, and to lead off for the Lumberjacks will be Francisco Lombardo. Lombardo hitting .500 so far this year, but I'm guessing he hasn't faced Gremlins pitching the entire season. Strike 1, a changeup. Looked like it was low, and Lombardo not happy. Jack Besgrove delivers, and it's a fly ball down the left field line, just foul. Besgrove, the 19-year-old phenom, 6'3". Member of the Australian men's national team. And at 19 years old, to have the to be considered the #1 arm in the world is pretty good. But he's been throwing a little bit, hasn't he? You know, Australia, and that's, I was talking to, before the game, to, I can't remember who it was, one of the guys, about who was from Australia, and asked him, it was Besgrove, about the golfers. They got a lot of great golfers from Australia. And that is strike 3. As Lombardo fans at it.
Shortstop,
Carlos Carreño, 386 hitter, plays shortstop for the Lumberjacks, and he will kick some dirt around before he steps in against Bessie. Besgrove looking at his catcher, Nick Mullins. Mullins, I believe, caught the first game, too. Yeah, Mullins a double dip, and it's not 80 degrees. It's close, right? So probably not catching if it's 90 degrees, right? But handling two pretty darn good pitchers today. Besgrove delivers, and Carlos Carreño swings and misses for strike 3, 2 outs. And that's 3 strikeouts already in this contest for Bessie.
With 2 outs, brings up the first baseman, Fetty Olheiser.
The Gremlins wearing the pinstripes, which are another New York really staple, right? Makes sense. And I saw some Gotham City T-shirts on their players, so that's a pretty cool team name, Gotham City. Holy Batman, right? I'm Batman. Michael Keaton is my favorite guy. He's my favorite guy. Luciano thinks he gave me you're plumb loco, dude. Swing and a miss. Pop fly going to travel out and be caught in shallow center field by Ladislav Malarchek, and that'll do it for the Lumberjacks in the top of the second inning. The Gremlins batted 8 hitters in the first inning and scored 4 runs, and we'll head to the bottom of the second to see if they can add to that total. You're watching New York Gremlins softball on the New York Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. Nick Mullins will lead off for the Gremlins in the bottom of the second inning. He's the only hitter in the Gremlins lineup that didn't get to the plate in the first inning. And Kuba Oseka hopes he's the first out of the inning, but he delivers a ball 2, outside. Oseka may be a little gun shy of the Gremlins after that first inning. The first 4 hitters scored. And Oseka delivers a great pitch inside, and that will be hauled in by Cody Pennebecker. Out number 1. That'll bring Matthew Waugh back to the plate, who singled in his first at bat. 3 home runs on the season, a .385 batting average coming into this game for Waugh. And Waugh, a little funny pre-bat where he pulls the bat back and kind of draws a line to trace the plate, so he's 1 step behind where his line is. Not as bad as the 35 seconds Hargrove used to take to do that. Waugh with a single up the middle. Second one of the contest, and with 1 out, the Gremlins have a base runner. Well, the guy coming up right now has had a day, as they would say. Jerome Ramaki hits in his last, well, I should say 4 of his 5 at-bats today, a home run and 3 singles. He's probably going to want to stay in Ashland. Ramaki coming into this game was a .388 hitter. That batting average is now over 400. Since I've got these math experts beside me, maybe they can figure out his batting average now. I'd have to give him the other numbers. I'm not going to. Ramaki with Waugh on first base. 1 out in this second inning, and 4-0 lead for the Gremlins. And he's going to fix his wrap around his right elbow. There's a little Hargrove-ish right there for you people that used to watch the Cleveland Indians. Mike Hargrove used to step back and fix that wrap every time. And that is a fly ball in foul territory. The shortstop coming after it, and Carlos Carreño could not quite get there. That was a tough play. And kudos on the effort right there. And as a pitcher, Mark Hastings, who you can't hear today because I took a mic away from him, but as a pitcher, when you see guys making that kind of effort, you like it. You appreciate it, don't you? Because, I mean, if you're going to throw pitches like that, you want to get those outs. It's a good pitch. And this guy's a tough out. Ball inside, and stealing second base is Waugh. Matthew Waugh with his first stolen base of the contest. And a 2-1 count on Ramaki, and you don't want to get behind a guy like this.
Check that monitor. I'm not sure what that last pitch was.
I've got 2-1 over here. Luciano looks like he's awake now, so I think I'm good. It's 2-1, right? He held up 1 finger. I don't know what that means, but I guess it's 2-1. 2 is the peace sign. I don't know. Ramaki, little ritual here. Again, steps back. This time fixing his left batting glove. His right batting glove. And that he's only got 2 batting gloves, so he can't fix any more. Ramaki steps in. Eyes Oseka. The pitch was a strike on the outside corner, and that was a really good pitch. That might be where I want to sit on Ramaki and throw that pitch a lot, right? Full count to Ramaki. And Kuba Oseka rocks and fires, and it's a foul ball in the on-deck circle of the Lumberjacks. That must have been Alabares that came out to get that. He's got 2 16s, but that was 14. Kubo Osiki eyes Ramaki, and he throws a pitch, and it's hit high, but not too deep. And that will be hauled in, and the runner will not tag from second base as the ball's thrown errantly. But Colmenares secured the out before he did so, and that's 2 outs.
With 2 away, brings up the center fielder, Ben Inoka.
And Ben Inoka will step up to the plate. Where's number 89 in Inoka? Good guy. Talked to him before the game, and Ben was talking about his golf game, and, well, he's got one more hole in one than I do. Inoka rips one into left center field, and it's over the head of the left fielder. That will score Wah, and Inoka trots into second base with a double.
Double for Inoka, scores another run for the Gremlins.
RBI number 18 on the season for Ben Inoka. And the guy that's won 5 ISC titles does it again. And that's a tough spot, too. I mean, pretty big gap out there in left center. But, I mean, as much as Kloss wanted to get to it, I think the wind kind of took it away from him. Yeah. I think so. Mark Hastings said the breeze might have taken it away from him. I believe it did. The sun is shining in Ashland, Ohio for the finals here of the 3rd annual Ashland Invitational. Craig Scott has done a whale of a job, the tournament director. He even brought us hot dogs 2 hours late. He has really worked hard. And he didn't get as much sleep as we did last night. Maybe 4 hours. Foul ball over on the right side. Eric Ochoa, the first baseman on this New York Gremlins team, 4-0 in this tournament, 20-1 on the season. And Ochoa just looks like a ball player. I believe the count's 1 ball, 1 strike, Mike. 2-1. Oh, it's 2-1. I know he changed his. It looked like the umpire held up 1 finger and then he brought 2 up. And Ochoa calls timeout. Got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1 run across for the Gremlins, who now lead this one 5-0. And Ochoa awaits the pitch from Osika, and it's 0 outside. Ochoa, Osika, and 0 outside. That's what I said. Oh, Hastings sitting beside me is laughing. Sounds like Irish guys. Osika delivers. That pitch looked pretty darn good, and it is a strike. He was waiting. He knew it was a strike. He was just waiting for the umpire to signal. It's a late call. Full count, 2 outs. Runner on second. And the pitch is a foul ball back to the screen from Ochoa. Ivan Sack's going to trot out to the mound and have a conversation with Osika. And the umpire will follow him out. You think he would have waited a couple seconds before he trotted out behind him. Yeah, he was stalking him. Seriously, I mean, he hasn't called timeout the entire game. He just wanted a second to make sure they're on the same page. And a ground ball down to first. Heck of a play, and it's going to be an out. As Federico Allheiser knocks it down and does his job, and that's the 3rd out of the inning as Ochoa heads back to the dugout. In the inning, Matthew Wah scored on a double from Ben Inoka, and the score after 3 innings of play, or I should say 2 innings of play as we head to the top of the 3rd. The Gremlins 5, the Lumberjacks nothing, and you're watching the New York Gremlins Network on Softball Premier TV. top of the third inning, Daniel Allstat, 260 batting average, a designated player for the Lumberjacks, will lead off against Jack Besgrove. Bessie retired 6 in a row of these Lumberjacks. And Allstat looking to get something started for AWP. Winds and fires, and, well, he was as late with that swing as your buddy's going to be to work tomorrow. That swing was about 9:30, and he should have been there at 9 o'clock. Strike one on Allstat. And a line drive snagged by Eric Ochoa at first. One away. Ivan Sachs will fix his right-handed batting glove as he steps into the box to face Besgrove. The 250 hitter is catching in this contest. Jack Besgrove rocks, hops, strike one. A little warmer right now. The sun has peeked out of the clouds, and Besgrove way back, hops, delivers a fly ball to center field. Coming on hard and making the catch for the New York Gremlins is Ben Inoka, and that's 2 away. Inoka good for hole-in-ones and chasing down fly balls. Ninth hitter in the order coming up, batting 303 for these Lumberjacks is Carlos Colmenares. And Colmenares looks at a changeup for strike one. Besgrove in the best groove right now. Eyes Nick Mullins and delivers the pitch inside off the glove of Mullins. And Kloss will trot over to grab it. Better save his energy for left field. Besgrove is retired. All 8 make that 9 players that he's faced as the Gremlins get out of the top of the third inning with no runs and no hits after 3.5 here in Ashland. The Gremlins 5, the Lumberjacks nothing. You're watching the New York Gremlins Network on Softball Premier TV. All right, that guy to my left doesn't give me any time to think. We're back. Bottom of the third inning. Luciano, if I could bottle you, brother, I would. We'd call that Luciano tonic or something, I don't know. He's got 6 cameras, and he's trying to give you every angle possible as Zenon Winter steps in, the DP. Kuba Osika had a rough first inning in this one and gave up 1 in the last inning, and that's where the score is, 5-0. The Gremlins lead as Winters calls timeout. That's more time than you give me, Luciano. My watch just told me to move. I'm not. I'm sitting. I'm going to do the game. Just a bit outside there for Osika. And Winters with a 1-1 count. Folks, no matter where you're watching, we hope you're enjoying today's contest. Little weak pop-up to third base, and Francisco Lombardo makes it out number 1.
The shortstop, Cole Evans.
And of course, we got people listening all over the world, not just locally or New York or Canada. We've got people listening in New Zealand and Australia and Japan and yeah, Argentina. Everywhere. It's nice. Folks, I know this weekend's your first taste of me, and well, I'm sorry in advance. Enjoying every minute, especially being beside these guys. I mean, I don't really get to hang out very much anymore with Mikey Van Dyne Jr. and Mark Hastings, two guys that just love the game of softball. As Cole Evans fights the pitch off his hands, and it's over the second baseman's head and into the grass for his first hit of the ball game.
Single for Evans with one away, brings up the right fielder, Brian Avery.
Brian Avery steps into the box. The first time Avery was up, he popped out to the left fielder. So Evans, the first base runner here for the Gremlins in the bottom of the third. The number 1 seed in this tournament brings in a 20-1 record, and strike one delivered to Avery. Right on the black for strike two. Osika's not going to quit bringing it. There's still life in this Lumberjack squad, and that is over our heads. And here comes one of the little guys to run after it. Well, what do you think it's fair? I mean, a dime is what it used to be. We talked about. What do you think really is fair for these kids chasing down these foul balls? And that is a line drive over the shortstop's head, and, well, Avery will take second on the throw as he hits a single, and Cole Evans, with a nice piece of base running, trots into third base. So runners on second and third with one out, and Ladislaw Malarchek and a .351 batting average steps into the box. Malarchik, kind of a relaxed stance right now with the bat on his shoulders, brings it back. Osika delivers, and a heck of a scoop right there by Sachs. We've seen more runs on pass balls or wild pitches than you'd expect, right? But the backstop again is about 20 feet plus behind home plate. So if you do throw it back to the backstop, it's almost automatic. And he reaches out and swats one over towards the shuffleboard courts. So 1-1 on Malarchik. One out. Bottom of three here in Ashland. Third annual Ashland Invitational, and the New York Gremlins in the driver's seat right now. Another foul ball down, and Greg Leather tries to do his best impression of Messi. He better stop, he might get hurt. Greg, if I had a pair of pants like that, I'd want the pinstripes to go north and south as well. He's a great dude. He really is. Coach of Team USA. These guys are going to get me in trouble beside me. Osika delivers the pitch, and, well, Malarchik fans at it and looks back to the umpire to see if he's out. I don't know why, but he did.
With 2 outs, brings up the catcher.
Strike three, second out, and Nick Mullins, the number 9 hitter, will step into the box. Mullins, the catcher for this Gremlins team, has the pleasure of handling a couple outstanding pitchers. Bestgrove, of course, the number 1 pitcher in the nation, is the guy throwing in this one. Osika Leans back and delivers, and Mullins hits a flare into left field that'll score 2 runs. So single for Mullins and 2 ribbies as Cole Evans and Brian Avery crosses the plate, and now a 7-0 lead for the Gremlins with Mullins 2 RBIs.
Courtesy running for Mullins, number 2, Tane
Mumu will come into courtesy run, and the Lumberjacks will make a pitching change. With that, we'll take a timeout. You're watching Championship Softball on the New York Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. It's Daver Alvarado. Daver, according to the lineup. Daver Alvarado, or Davier, or Daver, or, well, starts with a D. We got it. Alvarado takes over for Osika. And the first guy he will face is the leadoff hitter for the Gremlins, Matthew Waugh. Waugh, 2 singles in this one. He scored 2 runs. He's got a runner on first base, and his team leads 7-0. And Alvarado on the season has thrown a total of 5 innings in 2 games. He's given up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, and struck out 8 batters. So for a team that's played 24 games, he hasn't towed the rubber very much. Waugh waits, pitch, and that is a ball. And Waugh will trot down with the base on balls to first base, and over to second goes Mullins. Actually, we had it wasn't Robbie Black that's running. Well, I mean, every time you see a runner come in, you're like, there's Robbie Black, right? I mean, he's ran so much, I mean, come on. He hadn't ran that much since his older brothers were chasing him. Jerome Ramaki steps in, and the pitch is strike 1. Tane Mumu's running out there. Yeah, that was right on the inside corner, I thought, but no, he called it a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And Daver Alvarado delivers the pitch, and that is a strike. That's why you're glad you can find their team right online, so you can see who the players are. Because, I mean, you know, the coaches write like doctors. Now, in Greg Leather's defense, the guy that he has do his lineup, you can read that. That is completely legible. In fact, that's as nice as my wife's handwriting. I mean, seriously, it looks good, doesn't it? But the other lineup, not so much. All right, it's D-A-I-V-E-R, Alvarado. Diver. Is that pronounced right? Luciano's too busy trying to get camera angles. Ramaki with another hit into the outfield, and that'll score the pinch runner, Mumu. Mullins over at third base now. Or I should say, Wah over at third base, as the courtesy runner was Mumu. And another hit for Ramaki. I'm telling you, man, he's going to want to stay in Ashland. Why would you want to leave, right? Inoka up to the plate. And while it would have been nice to have Inoka here for a couple more days, we could have taken him out to the club and let him play some golf, right? Let him fish some of his golf balls out of the ponds out there. He might. Hey, I think Inoka could probably get a hole-in-one on 3. What do you think? Ball back to the screen, and scoring is Wah. So another run as Ramaki advances to second. And that is 9 runs on the scoreboard now for the Gremlins. We have a couple nice golf courses around here. We could have treated Inoka too. I'm sure Sabo and my son would have kicked his tail around the course a little bit. What do you think? Yeah. They both they played yesterday at the club after Tyler and Aiden got back from the Southern Amateur. My son Aiden Chandler and his buddy Tyler Sabo, who plays at Ohio State. Aiden plays for Ohio Northern. They both play college golf. They both went to state 3 times in high school. And Sabo played in the Southern Amateur as Inoka takes a strike. Didn't make the cut, but he made it to the amateur by qualifying second, shooting 6 under before he got there. He had 3 teammates there, including Maxwell Moldovan, that's played in the U.S. Open and the Barbasol this year. Pretty good players, right? And Aiden and Tyler went out yesterday after they got back because they never get sick of golf, right? That's all they do. And they tied at the club. Inoka with the walk.
Walk to Inoka, brings up the first baseman, Eric Ochoa.
Eric Ochoa, who hit home run number 4 of the season in the first inning, will come in with a Gremlins 9-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as we have now reached the 9th batter. And Ochoa would like nothing more than to deliver another bomb. Ball outside from Alvarado. So the course we have out here, Mark and I have played, and Mikey plays in league out there. We play a lot, right? We used to play a lot. You guys play more than I do now, but we used to play out there quite a bit, and it's a pretty nice course.
Great course.
It's long. You got to hit the ball straight. Ball right up the middle, and that's going to score Ramaki. And they'll hold the runner. Greg Leather will hold the runner up at third, and a single and an RBI for Ochoa, who's having a ball game. 10-0, the Gremlins lead, and we'll have to draw a line out as Winters is batting for the 2nd time in this inning. He popped out to the 3rd baseman to lead things off. I'm sure he's glad I just reminded him. And Winters takes the ball inside. Alvarado rocks, hops, and almost hits the batter Winters. the Gremlins running away with this one, as the Lumberjacks have had a pretty good tournament. They were 4-0 coming into this game. But they ran into a wall when they ran into the New York Gremlins. Oseka gave up 8 runs over 2 2/3 innings, and Alvarado has given up 2 in the time he's been in the game. And that's a strike. Ten runs on 10 hits, 10 earned runs for the Gremlins as winners walks.
Walk to winners, loads the bases, brings up the shortstop, Cole Evans.
Cole Evans, with the single in his last at bat, is tied for the team lead with 17 RBI and 5 home runs. And we'll have another meeting at the mound here for the Lumberjacks. We'll take a quick break. Your score in the championship game here in Ashland, the Gremlins lead 10-0. And you're watching softball on the New York Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. Cisco Sabate, who we've seen play first base quite a bit in this tournament, has thrown 8 2/3 innings and has 2 strikeouts an inning. So not too bad. The lefty will toe the rubber and face Cole Evans for his first time with the bags juiced for the Gremlins, who lead 10-0 here in the bottom of the third. Evans digs in, and Sabate delivers a strike on the outside corner. Cole Evans would like nothing more than to hit home run number 6. And that is off the corner, but framed very well by the catcher, Ivan Sachs. He was framed. 0-2 count on Cole Evans. Sabate looks in at his catcher, rocks, hops, and throws this one outside by about 8 inches. The finale here at Brookside Park, the 12th game of this tournament. The guys to my right did 6 yesterday, though there were 7 games. I did 2 on Friday night. And when this one's over, they're going to sleep well as a base hit up the middle past the diving second baseman, Panabecker. 2 runs will score, throw into third, and they miss the runner. Zenon winners.
Single by Evans scores 2 more.
So Ochoa, Inoki come home. Anoka come home, and Cole Evans picks up RBIs number 18 and 19 on the season. And so Sabate greeted with a single, and Brian Avery steps up against him, and Sabate delivers a strike. Panabecker just I mean, he made an effort to get it, but it was just had too much pepper on it. And that is in the dirt outside. It's 1-1, I believe. I got to check my man over here, Luciano. He has 1-2, but I believe there's only 2 pitches thrown. That looked like it was literally 4 inches off the plate. You agree? It's pretty close. I mean, it might have hit the black. I don't know. But at this point, the umpire's saying, well, it's 12-0. And I'm not getting paid by the hour. All kinds of things can happen when you're not getting paid by the hour. He doesn't look old enough to double dip right now. Right? He doesn't look old enough to be double dipping. If you followed my comment earlier. It's a pretty good pitch, but it's inside. Let's see. I believe it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Umpire hasn't really done a lot of signaling today. Some guys signal after every pitch. But it is 2-2. And that is a hard ground ball hit to the second baseman, Panabecker, who delivers it over to Olheiser, and that'll be it in the inning for the Gremlins. So, for the Gremlins in the bottom of the 3rd inning, 7 runs, and they lead 12-0 in this one. We'll return to the Brookside Park in the 3rd annual Ashland Invitational, where the Gremlins lead 12-0 over the Lumberjacks. You're watching the New York Gremlins Network on Softball Premier TV. Quick throwback to me as I was taking it all in as Mark Hastings was announcing the sponsors again on the PA. As we have a new batter, I believe, here. Batting for the Lumberjacks is number 5, Mike Marrero. And Jack Besgrove is enjoying a pretty solid outing.
Batting for AWP, Mike Marrero.
And Marrero leads off the top of the 4th inning and takes the place of Klaas. And he'll go join Klaas in the dugout.
With 1 away, now batting, Tyler Boulay.
Seriously, I've been to probably about 3 tournaments here. I haven't been to the finals. Shit, I guess the last game's the worst game ever.
So Tyler Boulay will come in now to hit for Panabecker. And swings and misses. And that is 2 down.
With 2 away, brings up Juan Vaya.
And Juan Vaya will head to the plate, the third substitute at the plate this inning for the Lumberjacks. 2 down, 12-0 Gremlins lead in this one in the top of the 4th, and it looked like it hit him, and yeah, Juan gone down to first with the hit by pitch. And you're probably hoping Bestgrove's not throwing a fastball when he hits you, and he did, right?
With a runner on first and 2 outs, brings up the third baseman, Francisco Lombardo.
And one of the guys still keeping his roll out here is walking up to the plate. Came into this game with a .500 batting average, Francisco Lombardo, but he was a victim of Bestgrove swinging in the second inning, as this team is just through the lineup for the second time. And that's what you get when you get a Bestgrove, right? You don't get a lot of at-bats. I mean, normally, just to translate to professional baseball, normally you see guys hit 4 times, right? 3-4 times. Bestgrove delivers the pitch, and Lombardo takes a cut at a high inside fastball, and the ball goes back to the screen, which allows the runner to advance. And that's a strike. Well, when it's a strike, you got to call it a pass ball, even though it really wasn't catchable. Another high fastball from Bestgrove, and you got to wonder where we at, about high 70s, maybe just cracking 80 out here. A little breeze, but you got to wonder how Bestgrove's feeling, right? I mean, it's a little hot. It's been resting in the dugout. I mean, he generally gets a lot more rest because his guys score so many runs, right? And that is strike 3, and that is the end of this championship ball game. And, well, let's talk about Bestgrove there as he delivered those 3 Ks and what he was able to do in this contest. Jack Bestgrove and the Gremlins win this game 12-0, and Bestgrove's numbers really impressive. 6 Ks and a no-hitter, and the New York Gremlins take the championship here at the 3rd annual Ashland Invitational. Like to thank everybody that put this on, right? Mark Hastings for doing the PA, and Mark and Mike Van Dyne Jr. for helping out yesterday with the broadcast. Craig Scott, the tournament director, and this good-looking guy with the sleeve on here, Luciano, running everything over here, all 6 cameras, and running me out of the press box right now as I hear the music rolling. Your final score in this championship game, the Gremlins 12, the Lumberjacks 0. I'm Dan Chandler. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on the New York Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. Goodbye, everybody.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. 5 games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.